Hey guys, I'm Jeff with the Embroidery Nerd, and today I'm going to be showing you how to add outlines to objects using Pulse DG16 creator level. And so this will work with any level of Pulse creator and up. Let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing I'm going to show you is to do it with text. So we need some text, and we'll go ahead and draw us a straight line here. And we'll go ahead and hit enter. It'll ask us what text we want to use. We'll type in the Embroidery Nerd. Stay on brand, right? And we'll hit OK. Now that's kind of big for me. I want to go ahead and lower this down to, let's go with 15 millimeters instead of 25. And that gives us about 207 millimeters, roughly 4 inches, right? So let's go and right click on the text, and we're going to go to auto, and we're going to say create boundary. And we get this window that pops up, and we'll go ahead and look at it a little bit while we're here. I'm going to click on show preview, and we can go ahead and do 3D or just the preview. The first box up here is going to be our boundary distance. This is going to be how far from the object we want our outline to be. The second box here is going to be whether or not we want an outline or if we want to insert a shape, like a diamond, oval, circle, rectangle, any of these shapes here. First, we're going to do an outline, and then we'll delete that and we'll do a shape so you guys can see both. After that, we have our segment type, artwork, run, steel, or a cross stitch. So we can pick kind of the stitch type that we want to assign to this outline. For this instance, we'll go ahead and use a steel, and we'll leave our boundary distance at 5 millimeters. We'll go ahead and hit OK, and as you can see, it generated a boundary of a steel stitch that follows and contours to the shape of the object. The steel is going to have kind of the default settings, so if I want it to be a little bit bigger, I can change that up here to 3 millimeters. If I want to add density or lower density, I can do that here, as well as set my underlays for what I would like it to have under that object. So that is if we want it to contour to a shape that we have or text that we have. All right, so we're going to select our text again. We're going to right click, not on the beads, but we're going to right click and we're going to go to create boundary. I want to do it, let's go with 3.5 millimeters away from our shape this time. I do want to do a shape, and I do want it to be a rounded rectangle, so I'll make sure that's there. I'll do a steel, and we can do show preview if we want to. It's going to show the diamond even though it will do a rounded rectangle, but I just wanted to show you guys that. So we can go ahead and hit OK. And it's going to generate this rounded rectangle for us around our object, and it's going to space it 3.5 millimeters from our lowest point and from our highest point. That's 2 ways that we can add a border around text. The third way is to use Draw Fusion. So I'm going to just double check this size here. We're 208 millimeters, and I'm going to click on Corel Fusion. And this is going to move us into an open Corel inside of Pulse, and it's called Draw Fusion. I keep getting that mixed up, but it's Draw Fusion. It says when adding artwork from Draw Fusion, convert everything to stitch types. So we can have it convert it to stitch types, or we can have it convert everything to artwork, and then we can manipulate it inside of Pulse as well. Here it's going to say selection only, to Draw Fusion, refresh Draw Fusion, and show this during transactions. So this is going to show it every time we switch back and forth. I'll go ahead and hit OK, and now we are in Draw Fusion. So we can do a rectangle, and I'll just go ahead and click there, and I'll draw that. We're going to go to 5 inches wide. Let's go with, I think, 1.5 high will be good. And the nice part about being able to do it in Draw Fusion is I can actually set a radius. So I can say I want that radius to be 1/4 of an inch, or I could set it to 1/2 inch right there. Or if I really wanted to, we could just keep increasing that until we ended up getting oval edges, but I like to do 1/4 of an inch. And I'm going to add a little bit of line weight to it. And so I'm going to go to like 8-point line. Let's actually select it, and then we'll go to an 8-point line here, and that'll give it some thickness. So if we go up to File and now switch to go back to Draw Fusion, we can look here and we can uncheck that. And now if it's thick outline shape, we can set that to steel. So it'll automatically convert it to a steel for us. If we don't add any line weight, it'll just bring it over as a run. That's why I added some line weight so I could show that to you. Now, I do just want it to convert it to artwork, so I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, and it's going to bring it over. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom out a little bit here. It brought over the rectangle that we did, and it looks like I didn't quite make it long enough, which is okay. I can just grab and I can stretch the object here, or I can go back into Corel Fusion, or Draw Fusion, I should say, and we'll just go back into Draw Fusion, and it'll bring us back to our text. And I can go ahead and just stretch that out or delete it. I'm just going to delete it, and we'll draw another one. And let's go to 6 inches. We'll do 7. And 1.5 tall. And now I'm going to add my radius there. And if we go back up here and we go File, Switch, and again convert it to artwork, it'll bring it back in. And as you can see, we still have both pieces of artwork. So we'll just go ahead and delete this lower one right there. We'll bring this one down a little bit, and I'm just going to scale them up right there. And now it's just a matter of centering the two. Because it is artwork and I do want it to be stitches, I can right click on it and I can go convert segment to, and I can convert it to any one of these things. If I wanted to do a fill or a cross stitch, I'm going to again do it as a steel stitch, and it put the border around there. And again, you can go up here and you can change some of the properties of it. For instance, when I like to do a border for a patch, I do it at roughly 4 millimeters. And now I can just kind of pull that over a little bit and we have our border. We can also do some alignment things later. Now, you might be asking, does this only work for text? It works for more than just text. We can go over here, and I have this file up, and I've already put a boundary on it, but I'm going to delete that. So if we have a series of objects with it, which this is a series of objects, and I select all of them, and I right click and I go to Auto and Create Boundary, it's going to again ask me what I want to do. I'm going to go about 1.5 millimeters away from the artwork, and I'm going to again do a steel stitch, and you can see how it's now generating that to match the contours of this shape. I can hit OK, and it'll put the border there. What I would like to do with it right now, and I'll go ahead and show that right here, is I want to turn it to white, and I want to move it to the front of the object. So I'm going to go over to Segment, Resequence, and I'm going to bring it to the start of the design. So now it's at the very forefront of the design. As you can see, we have a little bit of space here and a little bit of space there, and so we can just touch that up. Let's say I want this to sew behind this object, which is what it does now. So I'm going to just select, and I'm going to go into Node Edit now, and I can adjust the nodes and the vertices. And I'll go ahead and pull that in just a little bit right there and push that out a little bit, and I'm going to come out just a hair there. So then now we can adjust these to get our outline just the way that we would like it to be. This one I would bring down to here. This one I would bring down to about right here. And now we have this nice outline contouring the shape. If I really wanted to sew this out, I would look at that, and I would actually like that to be under the shape just a little bit more. And it's really easy to do. I can just change my inset, so I can go 60% in, and it brings it in a little bit more. And I can add a little bit of width to the outline there. So now I definitely know that the black border is going to fall on top. And as always with our stitch objects, we can change our values here. I can add a little bit more density. I would add a contour and a parallel underlay underneath this object to make sure that it sews well. So this is how we can add borders to our objects, whether it's text or an existing file. We can do this in any level from creator and up. If you guys liked our content today, please give us a like and subscribe. Also, if you have any questions, drop them in the comment section. You can also join us over on Facebook, the Embroidery Nerd group, or you can jump over to Discord and join our conversation. Thank you guys for hanging out with me, and we'll catch you next time.